Hello, hello, Jen Patero on April 17th, which means 9 weeks to go before I hit the stage for my first ever fitness competition. So for today, going to focus on exercise, specifically the exercise that I'm doing in preparation for the fitness competition. But as always, if you have any questions about Orange Theory Fitness, Beachbody, or really any fitness questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. I've really appreciated and loved all the questions I've received so far, primarily around my diet and my exercise. So that's why last week focused on diet, and this week thought we would chat a bit about exercise. So also wanted to again thank everybody so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. And I love that I have now heard from at least 6 or 7 of you saying that the videos have helped to motivate you to start a new fitness regimen or make adjustments to your lifestyle and your diet. And I love it. It makes my day. Thank you so much for sharing. And I am so excited to help motivate and support each other. Our journeys are all very different, but it is so important, I feel, that we have each other to lean on and help on those days where, maybe we need help staying on track with our diet, or we need an extra kick in the butt to get moving and get our exercise underway. And then also equally, if not more important, to help celebrate those successes as we achieve them. So fantastic. Keep it coming. I love, love, love it. Thank you so much for sharing. So exercise for me. I've told you I'm working out at home with reasonably minimal equipment, especially for the majority of the year, right? When it was so hard, equipment was so hard to come by. So I have a treadmill, I have a bench, I have a ball for abs crunches. I think it's a Swiss ball. I have weights. Very fortunate to have had, they're 2 dumbbells, but they range between 5 and 50 pounds. And with the click of a handle, you can add or subtract, increase or decrease 5 pounds at a time. I also have 8 and 12 pound free weights. I have resistance loops. These are incredible. Put them around my legs or around my ankles, or around my thighs or my ankles for my leg workouts. And resistance bands. Incredible what you can do with your body weight and some resistance bands as well. So the other thing, I've had to think outside of the box. I've got a hockey stick and 2 chairs over in the corner there, and I was using them to do sort of pull-up moves. So I just want to let you know that it is very possible to do all of this working out from home with minimal equipment. Would it be better if I had access to a gym or bigger equipment? Probably. Might have built a bit more muscle or built muscle in different areas, but it's certainly doable at home with minimal equipment. So that's the equipment that I've had access to. And then Mel, my trainer, she is aware of what I've got, and she puts together programs for me. So essentially, the way the programs are designed is that I do 5 days of the week where I have weight training. I have 1 day of the week where I just do cardio, and that cardio is about 6 kilometers. I'll run 6 kilometers on the treadmill, and I've got 1 rest day. So I say complete rest, but basically that means no heavy weights and it means no intense cardio. But I do make sure that on those days I walk at least 5 kilometers. So the 5 weight training days, I make sure that I do the weights first. It takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to do my weight training. And the reason I do it first is because I want my muscles to be as effective as possible, and I want to burn out the glycogen. And then following that, then I do the cardio, and then that will help burn more fat. I always thought it was better to do cardio first, get your heart rate up, and then when your heart rate's up, then do the weight training, because you'll be burning more calories that way. But I have learned that that's not the case. Better to do the weightlifting first, cardio second. So basically the programs, the program I'm doing right now, I've got 2 leg days for the week. I've got 2 upper body days for the week. And then one day, actually today, is my day to do circuit training. And it's sort of a total body workout, which is great. I'm really enjoying that. And then, as I say, after the weightlifting, I do the cardio, and my cardio has been 9-week Control Freak with Autumn Calabrese. And the reason I'm using that for my cardio is because it's cardio, but it also uses weights. So as I'm not in a building phase right now, I'm of course in a cutting phase, getting ready for the contest. And as I cut, my fear is that I will lose muscle mass, and I don't want to do that. I want to maintain as much muscle as possible, which is why I thought that instead of just doing cardio on a treadmill, it'd be really cool to use this program because it's cardio with weights. So I do a lot of jumping. It's very fast. I'm not using heavy weights. But I am using weights, and I do feel it in the different muscle groups as I go through the workouts. So it's cardio with weights to help maintain as much muscle as possible is the purpose there. So that's really it as far as what it is that I'm doing. The only other thing I wanted to mention is that as I'm going through week to week, I want to make sure that I am doing sort of a progressive overload. So each week gets harder, which is going to be interesting because each week my calories get less and less. I'm eating less, but I'm wanting to push myself with my training even more so. So it's a mental shift. It's a mind game, I feel. But I'm pretty good at pushing myself, like making sure I'm doing things either as well as last week or more. Actually, I don't say as well. I'm always pushing myself to be better than I was the week before and to do more than the week before. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm increasing my weights. I most certainly don't increase my weights every week, but I can do other things such as adding resistance loops. So for example, last week I showed a video doing a leg workout, doing a monster walk, and I wasn't wearing any bands and I wasn't using any weights. So then this week, actually, it wasn't the bands, I added 10 pounds. So I did the monster walk holding 10 pounds. And then next week, maybe I'll add a band. So I'm just doing little things each week to incrementally make things more challenging for my body. Sometimes it's holding a little bit longer, like if I'm doing hip thrusts or if I'm doing a bridge, holding at the top and squeezing for 3 seconds. That would make it a bit more challenging. Anyways, each week just trying to make it a little bit harder and make sure that I'm doing a little bit more. So that's really it. If you have any questions about the exercise, please feel free to ask. Like I say, I'm always happy to chat about this stuff. As for my progress for the week, my weight this morning when I stepped on the scale was 126.2. Last week, this time, I was 126.8. So I've gone down about half a pound. My body fat is now sitting at 13.8. Last week it was 13.9. I don't know, my scale's wonky. Anyways, that's what it is. I did take measurements again today. Everything stayed the same from last week with the exception of my hips. It looks like my hips have gone down by 1/4 of an inch. Everything else stayed the same. For my diet, my My fat is going to stay the exact same again. I think this is 5 weeks where I have been at 145 grams of fat, which is interesting to me, because you'd think that if I want to lose fat, he would decrease my caloric intake of fat, but it's not. He's not. I'm decreasing the protein and fat is staying the same, but I'm losing body fat, which is pretty cool. Anyways, so body fat stays the same, or not body fat, excuse me. Fat stays the same at 145. My protein is going down again to 110 grams of protein, and my carbs stay the same at 10 grams. So the caloric goal for the week is 1,785 calories per day. But when I went through my carb manager, because I've got it all tracked in there, it looks like my average calories per day is going to be 1,811. So just above 1,800 calories a day. That is my diet for the next week. What else can I tell you? So energy level and sleep has been good. I've had a couple days where I was pretty tired at the end of the day and wanting to go to bed pretty early, but I have a feeling that that has to do with my cycle, because that happens to me the week before I start my cycle. I always find there's 2 to 3 days that week before where I'm a bit more hungry, and that held true this past week. There were 2 to 3 days I was a bit more hungry, and it was harder for me to push my brick to 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I did it, but it was harder for me to do. And then those same 2 days, I'm usually pretty exhausted come the end of the end of the day. Can't wait to go to sleep. And that held true. But then after those 2 days are over, then I flip a switch and the diet is fine. I don't feel too terribly hungry. It's easy for me to push my lunch to, like I say, 1:30, 2 o'clock this week. And I almost go the reverse. Then in the evenings, it's harder for me to shut myself down, shut my brain off, and go to sleep. I'm up until 11, 11:30 when I'm normally wanting to go to bed at about 10, 10:30. So, yeah, it's interesting to see how minor changes in my diet really can have an impact on my energy level that week. So that's it with my sleep, my energy. Things are good. I'm feeling good, and we'll see what next week brings with these adjustments to my macros. Decreasing my protein and keeping my fat at the same level. Anyways, that is it for me for today. Hope you guys have a great week. I'm now going to get my exercise in, get my workout for the day done, and I will chat with you next week. Take care, guys. Thanks so much, and yeah, have an awesome week. Bye for now.